my background is an engineer. So I come from working at CERN as a software engineer. Then I led some teams at New York, and then I transitioned actually with my brother to co-found one chatbot company. Now we open our words to more than just chatbot, but we've been around 4 years developing automations in customer service.
Wow, 4 years already in the bot space. How many bots have you guys built so far?
Wow, that's a good question. I would say around 150 for sure. Maybe more. More bots have been created in our platform, but that we've done and we care about the success and results around that.
Oh, okay. So you guys kind of also provide certain type of bot building services to help people.
Correct. Yeah, we try to make sure that the bot is successful, which I suppose is going to be the next question about why bots are not successful in the past years.
Exactly. Like with more than 150 bots you have built so far, what would you say is the worst bot experience and why is that?
So, well, we try to do a good experience and I think we deliver. What I've seen in the market, if we are talking about the market, I think it's very important. I think there are more bad bot experiences than good ones today. And that is—
what are usually the reason do you think that the bot has bad experience?
I would say that there is no way to go out and talk with a human person. So I would like to focus a little bit more on the customer service side, because marketing and customer service are very different chatbot experiences. So my expertise is on the customer service side, even if I've done a little bit of the marketing ones. But I think the biggest problem for having a very bad bot experience on customer service is that there is a lot of friction to be able to talk with someone whenever the bot doesn't understand it. So I'm trying to minimize that, just forbidding every single word of "sorry, I don't understand you." That's actually not a word that we put in any chatbot that we've done in the past year or two.
And as everybody right now is kind of affected by the COVID-19 situation, how do you see COVID-19 impacting the chatbot space?
Yeah, it's very interesting because there are some verticals that is obvious, right? Like travel or hospitality we have few customers in those verticals, and they have been pretty much affected in full. So the chatbots they don't have any customers today. But on the other hand, we are focusing lately on the e-commerce space. And that means that every single customer that we have seen an increase of 20%. And then at the same time, we are seeing a peak of interest in automation all over the place, especially on e-commerce. But we are actually having a lot of interest on our company. But the market itself, I believe, that is getting a little bit more attention these days.
When you say you're getting increase of 20%, are you referring to like the usage of people chatting more with bots?
Correct. Not chatting more with bots, but it's reaching more the customer service of an e-commerce company, and then our chatbot or automation that we have kicks in. So 20% in overall volume.
That's a very interesting data here. And what are you still seeing like some of the main challenges that chatbot as an industry is facing?
I think it's bad reputation. And I touched that before, but it really has a bad reputation. Like whenever you talk chatbot, some customers will confuse it with a Twitter chatbot or a Facebook chatbot that does things because they remember the word bot. So I think overall has a bad reputation. These days, actually, I call it more of an assistant or automation that is helping agents to deliver their work in a more efficient way. And I will say that we need to work as a whole, as an industry, to focus on making it very easy for users to not get frustrated. So I would say that reduce the friction as much as possible from your chatbot in case it doesn't work. That would be my top advice.
And finally, to maybe close the, or from my end at least to close, could you share in contrarian opinion about the future of chatbots?
Well, one contrarian opinion. I don't think it's contrarian anymore. It was for the first 2 years, 2016 and 17. It was don't try to mimic a human whenever you are talking as a chatbot. Whenever you have a chatbot like that I've seen that it has been a little bit more accepted over time. We never try to mimic a human in a chatbot, and at the same time, I don't think that you should be passing the Turing test unless it's a consumer-facing hardware such as Alexa or Google Home or even Google Assistant in order to have a good chatbot. So there is no need for that.
That's interesting. You're saying like the Turing test is not so useful for measuring the experience of a bot.
Not at all. The experience of a chatbot is measured, at least in customer service, by how customers react to it and if it solves their problem. If it solves a problem, he will most likely have a good experience. But I think I have a more controversial opinion of the future. That I believe it is not about the best technology who wins for a good chatbot experience. I think the technology matters, but what matters more is to have a good conversation design, to have friction, to reduce the friction as soon as possible in order to contact agents. And I think that's pretty much it. If you reduce the friction, I don't think it's about the technology. If you have a good process to create a chatbot, it's a good process. And if you've been 6 months doing a chatbot, you are doing it wrong.
This is kind of a very controversial topic and with a lot of conflict interest, because if you think about from maybe the brand perspective, they obviously want to avoid as much human contact as possible. And you're saying for the bot to have got good experience, they should reduce the friction and reach out to human agent as soon as possible. And how do you usually balance this? What are some of the tactics you guys use?
Yeah, so usually if you are thinking long-term, you always care first about customer experience rather than deflection or your deflection rate, which is the amount of queries that you automate, right? So long-term, every single company in the planet, I believe, they should be thinking about customers first and then later reducing cost of customer service.
Okay.
Having said that, I think there should be a balance. Maybe, for example, we aim to never ask for reconfirmation of things on a chatbot. You could think like, okay, that's weird. Like you should ask for reconfirmation of things or even rephrase a question. We try not to do it, but in some cases, I think it makes sense because maybe it increases the 20% deflection, and then customers maybe just put it a typo or any mistake, but always with a very big button that says, hey, contact support. So that's where we see the market going.